Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Elite Edition Spawn to see if this guy lives up to this guy's memory. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Over the past year, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legions, Valaverse, AWOC, Zesray Studios, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy with how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. All right, here is a closer look at the package, and I will say that the box is nice. You've got the Image Comics founders written right here on the side. Does that mean we're going to see, Savage Dragon and any of Liefeld's creations? I doubt it. I don't know. If we're going to see a character in this with Jim Lee, because wasn't that the four founders? It was like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, McFarlane, and then Eric Larson. Is that right? We've got some nice gold foil printing here on the side. It says Elite Edition. I think this just means that they charged you $60 for this figure. Some nice Spawn artwork by Todd McFarlane there on the side. A huge Elite Edition. You can't miss it. There it is on that side. And then some beautiful Spawn 1 artwork there on the back from Todd McFarlane. 1992. That was 2 years before I graduated high school. But love that artwork, man. That's worthy of cutting out and putting up behind this guy on your shelf for a nice display piece. But you can see a good look at just about everything that comes with it. There's some stuff in the background. We're going to get to that. So let's get it opened up and take a closer look. Alrighty, going over the stuff you get. You do get a McFarlane Elite Edition card worth 300 points. It says here that you scan the QR code, go to the website, scratch this off, put in your number. You get points. I don't know what you do with the points. I've never looked into it, so I don't know. But I would say that you do get a sleeve-worthy card. This thing does look really nice. Got that gold foil printing on there. And then you have Todd facing off against the movie version of Spawn. I wonder if Todd wrote this himself. But, yeah, it's a nice card. If you wanted to sleeve it up and keep it, I think it's worthy of that. You do get this really wicked base. I love this. I think this base is great. I love the kind of 90s art style. It feels good in hand. It's got a nice soft finish to it. Only 1 foot peg. I do like it. I think it's nice. I'm glad we got that instead of a standard base. We do get a throwback to his the weapon that came with the original figure, which I don't have this weapon that came with my original figure. I've lost that weapon a long time ago. I still have my original Spawn figure, but I'm lucky to have that. But yeah, I don't have this, so you do get this nice plank of wood with a handle on it and a spike through it. You get this really nice, I'm guessing this is like a hand effect, some, plasma effect, like burning in his hand. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I do. I think, I don't know how Todd abandoned it, but if you guys remember, he was only given so much energy to come back to Earth when he chose to come back to Earth from Malbosia, and there was a little ticker in each issue. When he would use his power, the ticker would go down, and we all kind of knew that he was ticking down to losing his power. But I guess they wrote that out after it became super popular. He's like, yeah, we can't kill this off. Can't kill this guy off. Return him to hell and story over. We do get this super nice head, hamburger head. I don't know if that's what we still call it. But it is really beautifully painted. Bright green eyes in there. The stitching. Yeah, man, this is really dope. I love it. I'm glad they included this and didn't put this inside of some sort of exclusive that I have to buy a completely another $60 figure just to get this head. I do like it. It's really nice. We get a nice array of hands. He has two punchies on him in the package. We get a left gripping hand for holding his weapon. We get a very comic book accurate, cover art accurate hand here, left hand gesturing, which I love. Another right hand gesturing, and then another right hand gesturing. These two are very similar. I don't think that you could grip the weapon with this though. Like, maybe if you could wedge it between the thumb. Yeah, you could. I don't think it's made for holding it, but you certainly can. It holds it very well. I believe this is the hand that's actually made for holding it, but they both work. But I don't know. Like, I don't associate this with Spawn other than coming with the toy. So I don't think this is even going to go on the shelf with my guy. And then he does come with two plugs that have chains in them, and you can adjust the chains as you see fit. I would say that it does look like there's nothing stopping the chain from coming all the way out. So if you are not careful, you will pull it all the way through, and these plug into Spawn's back right here. So here is Spawn himself, and I gotta tell you, man, like in the package, I honestly thought, I was like, is this guy 8 inches? Like, is he 8 inches tall? Like, did McFarlane come up with a new size here? This piece is loose and moves around, even though I don't think it's supposed to. I do think it's supposed to be pretty tight on there, but no, he is regular. He's regular McFarlane figure size. I did compare him with probably the tallest Batman figure that I have that he made, which is the Batman Hush, and I'll show you. But he stands, I mean, about 7.5 inches tall, and here he is next to that Batman, and as you can see, they're spot on, exact same size. He just looks a lot better. He looked not better, but he looked taller in package. I'm not sure why that was. I love this cape. It is wired, so that's good, but it's just not the wire. I would have liked it to be like just a 1 gauge thicker, because the cape is kind of heavy, and it doesn't really, like, let's see if you use both. If you use both wires in conjunction, no, they still fall. And there's no wire across the bottom. It is a nice cape, probably one of the nicer capes that McFarlane has ever included in one of his figures, which makes sense because it's his character. But I just wish the wire was a little heavier to stay up a little bit. It still falls. So this still may be the case where, for me, this is going to be my definitive Spawn figure. I may invest in a third-party cape because I've seen some pretty awesome ones out there. I missed out on the Spawn, the original Spawn Kickstarter, where they put out the first Spawn figure on Kickstarter. I say missed out. I had plenty of opportunity to back it. I just decided with shipping, it came out to be like an $80 figure. And I just didn't want to pay that. But then after it came out, I kind of wish I had. And I purposely didn't back the medieval Spawn. I just didn't want it. I know that they're super nice and everything. I just is not for me. Let's go ahead and plug these in. So that being said, this is definitely going to be my definitive Spawn. I am not somebody who needs a Spawn on his shelf. But, you know, Todd Toys, which is what it was called when they first came out, not McFarlane Toys, will always hold a special place in my heart, because it did mark a turning point for action figures in the action figure community, in the retail space. His impact on action figure making and collecting, of course, is widely known and respected and can't be denied. And were it not for Todd Toys, we may not have the 4 horsemen who make my most favorite toy line of all time, Mythic Legions, because that's where they met. They all worked at Todd Toys together, McFarlane Toys. So there are the chains. I really like that method. I do kind of wish they were wired, though. I may end up wiring these chains so that they can pose on my shelf. But yeah, it looks really nice. Let's go over the articulation here. So first of all, you do have this nice cape. I do like the way that it's not wired, but you can see that it has a definite shape to it. and I love that because it gives you that comic accurate collar. The cape here looks like it's plugged in and glued on the chest right here. Yeah, it's not glued on the back at all anywhere else. On the back, you do have this little hood piece that just drapes around the back. It's sewed down right there. You could unstitch it if you want, but he never had a hood, did he? And then you've got, let's just show you the wingspan here on this cape. It is large. It is a very large cape. It has a lot of weathering and distressing on the back and tattered at the bottom, as best as a mass market retail figure could be. You got that very clean original look to his suit. You have the skull here with real chains going around to another skull in the back. You've got the spike band around this arm, the spikes on this hand, and then the spike around this boot. And I'm glad it's the original design and not the full boot that goes around the foot. I just absolutely hate that look. That's just not for me. And then you got the thigh pouches over here. As far as articulation, our boy Spawn can look up that far, which is, sorry, you can't really even see that. He can look down about that far. I don't know, what are we on? Just a double ball peg, a little bit of rock. You've got that McFarlane cuff, so you can go back, like his butterfly joint. Arms can go up, no problem, go all the way around. You've got that upper bicep swivel, double jointed, although they are pinned, but good Lord, look how tight they crunch all the way. Is that the same over here because we've got that band on the arm? Not as far because the spike gets in the way, but good enough. You've got that upper torso joint, that the upper abdomen joint right there. Leans back about that far. You do have a little bit of you've got a twist and a little bit of a rocker because that's on a ball peg right down there. But I have seen people pop this apart and cut away some of the spacing in there around the holes and get better range of motion. I may do that. I don't know. We'll see. Legs can kick forward that far, but they do start kicking out to the side. Legs can go out to the side about that far, can go back about that far. There's no thigh rotation, which do any, I guess none of his do. I only buy Batman figures from McFarlane, so you get a little bit of rotation, but not a lot. You have the double jointed pinned legs, can go back about that far, which is pretty good. They are very tight though, very tight knee joints. And then you do have swivel, hinge, and even toe articulation, but that toe articulation is stiff. I don't know if it'll loosen over time, but it is pretty stiff. So with the hands here, let's see, you could probably, what do we want to do here? I wonder if this is a situation where you sort of like take the hand and do you want to like kind of push it in? I don't really know how this should go. And then as tight as that hand peg was to get on, the wrist peg, I don't know if I'm probably going to knock the green part off. Okay, that was a little harder than it needed to be, but I do like that pop of green on this guy. We'll have to figure out a better way to position this on my shelf when it does go up on my shelf. But that's pretty nice. I do love the hand choices that we get there. I'm not going to complain. I think this Spawn comes with everything that it should. And so let's put him right here because we're going to do one more comparison, and that's with this guy. I do have, oh, the chains have already fallen. I knew that was going to happen. I do have, it looks like, man, it looks like my peg broke off. I had this in a box. It looks like my peg broke off, but you had this little piece here that would plug in like this. And then you could plug that piece into his neck. And so you would have it, and you could wrap the cloak around him, which looks, this is like a traffic cone. But just looking at the figure here, it looks like the only thing that's in the right spot is the armband of spikes and the spikes on this hand. No spikes on this hand. He's got these offset but swapped. So the thigh pouches and the leg spikes are on different legs. But, you know, look, that's how far we've come in, what, 25, 30 years of Todd Toys, McFarlane Toys. It's pretty nice. I mean, this figure still holds up as far as I'm concerned. I still love it, which is why I still have it and never got rid of it. And you could wrap the, you know, cloak around him like that. I think these guys will go on my shelf together. So yeah, let's get this guy into some poses and see how he poses up. Oh boy. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. I like this figure for what it is, and I can say that I appreciate this figure. I can appreciate this price point. Because I don't have the Kickstarter one. And I know that this is even less expensive than the Kickstarter one had I backed it. And it's most definitely cheaper than that figure is now on the aftermarket. I do think for a found at retail figure, because this is showing up at Walmart, I believe it's showing up in GameStops. For a definitive Spawn figure to be found at retail, yes, I can agree that that's exactly what this is. But I do not feel like this is worth the $60 price point. Even if I did find it at retail and didn't have to pay for shipping and things like that. It's just, it doesn't come with that much more stuff for the price. And so like that much more stuff than a normal McFarlane figure. If this was like, say, a Batman figure that came with like an extra head and some extra hands and a couple of accessories, this would be at your deluxe price point, that you know, $35 price point, which could be $37 now. But they're asking $60 for this, and I don't see all of the value there. But I'm not upset that I paid it, because now I have what I can consider, for me, a definitive Spawn figure. And I don't see the need for me to buy another figure. Now, maybe if Todd licensed this out to, like, say, Mafex, and Mafex took a crack at it, or if a third-party company overseas like CT Toys just took a stab at it, yeah, I would probably pick one of those up. But for what it is, and now I don't see needing to buy another Spawn figure. And honestly, like, I'm happy with this, even at the price point, because this is a one-off. I wouldn't buy like another Elite series. Like, I'm not sure who else they have planned in the line. I know that they've done some like Doom figures and some, I don't know, did they do like a Diablo figure in this Elite series already? I'm not sure, but yeah, for others, I just have to pass. But for what it is, what you get in the box and what you pay for as a one-off, I'm okay with that. But man, McFarlane really knows how to dig in and price gouge. But I don't know, maybe that's just me, and maybe that's just my opinion. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Am I wrong on this? What do you think? How do you feel about this and at the price point? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video. I super appreciate it. Please check out our podcast, Across the Toyverse, which comes out every 2 weeks, wherever you download podcasts, and check us out on Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the Toy House.